Hey everyone, Stacks here, checking out some previews for Excalibur number 2, Absolute Carnage number 5, and Marauders number 2. But before we get into this, I'm going to show for the channel up front this time. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, it helps bring more views to the channel. And honestly, by subscribing, you help level up the channel, and that's a huge plus. Anyways, that's all I got is on the shield side of the house. So I'm interested to see what people have to say after this preview of Excalibur number 2, because I've heard a lot of people say that they are stepping back. This is one that's falling off the pull list, and others that are fired up about it. But going into the book itself, it starts with your typical white page rundown. Destiny awaits thee. The new nation of Krakoa offers the promise of peace to mutant kind, but peace has been hard to come by. Formerly villainous Apocalypse has declared his intentions to harness mutant magic, but not everyone is convinced, especially since his experiment seemed to put Rogue into a mysterious floral coma. And War in Otherworld called Brian Braddock into battle against the sorceress Morgan Le Fay, but when he showed up, she possessed Brian. He used the last of his strength to give his twin sister Betsy the Amulet of Right, and now she's, dun dun dun, Captain Britain. So the book starts with Apocalypse. He's visiting these two mutants who their mutant power is that they can never lose their way as long as they're together. So their X gene apparently is symbiotic based off the other's presence. One of the things that happens here is the narration lets you know that people think that Apocalypse is the first mutant, which he was. However, he isn't the father of mutantdom. Mutants popped up everywhere, and he actually would travel around and try to apparently recruit them. Long story short, their boat ends up being a little bit less than seaworthy. They end up drowning, and Apocalypse doesn't save them because they basically died at their own hands due to their own stupidity. From there, we jump to a Marauders vessel. Kate Pride now, is piloting this thing and are captaining. We find out through the dialogue that they're heading to the Excalibur Braddock's lighthouse, or at least where it used to be before it was destroyed. They're going to set up a gate there, and the banner here is obviously getting on Gambit's nerves. I'm sure he's not the only one, because they're sitting there going back and forth about a hot tub being included in this. And he's like, I'm glad y'all are feeling so jokey. And I get it. His wife is sitting there in this coma, and they're sitting there ripping jokes. He's obviously concerned. I don't know why he decided he needed to make this trip and bring her along with him, but they did. And even after Gambit's like, look, I'm not in the joking mood, Kate still is sitting there poking at him saying, hey, has anybody tried kissing her? And it's like, look, what's your problem? Anyways, they sitting there, and suddenly a hand comes up over the end of the vessel, got webbed fingers, going to be fighting some sea monsters. Sounds like a good time. Not going to lie, if the dialogue stays this bad throughout this whole book, I am going to roast the fire out of this thing. And I don't do roast videos, but this is just bad. I will roast it, and then I will go call my LCS and say, hey, drop that from my pull list. I am really trying to give this book a chance, but that dialogue is nails on a chalkboard to me. From there, we jump over to Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, and Frank Martin, who's doing the colors on Absolute Carnage number 5. And this looks absolutely amazing. You have Venom, who just got this new Venom symbiote suit, or I guess Eddie Brock technically, tackling this ultimate Carnage, or I guess they're calling him Devil Carnage. And in this conversation, Carnage is telling him it's almost here, it's happening, he's almost awake. And Eddie's realizing he's right, and he knows they're right, because ever since he's bonded with these new codices, this new symbiote that's formed, he can hear the hive, he can hear them screaming. And that's when Carnage tells him, you know, we can hear you too. We are everywhere. So he is inside of Carnage's head, and what Carnage is seeing across all of these different symbiotes, these doppelgangers he has of himself, he's seen the Avengers get overrun, Captain America, Wolverine, the Thing. He sees Spider-Man losing to the Red Goblin, and he sees Eddie and Normie Osborn cornered. And Carnage says, I can see it. All of your little friends failing, drowning in red, suffocating in my wake. And you know what happens next? And no, of course I don't know what happens next. I'm going to have to buy Absolute Carnage number 5 on New Comic Book Day to find that out. The third and final preview is Marauders number 2, which starts with a confrontation between Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost. And what we find out has happened is that Sebastian Shaw has gotten a little bit out of line and started shipping these Krakoan drugs to some first world, you know, big money, if you will. And well, to say kindly, that's not his lane. He's supposed to serve the black markets and not in specific lanes. He's supposed to be giving it to areas where the drug is not available because of government decisions, not basically creating a priority list and funneling it to the rich. Well, because he's trying to get sneaky, what has happened is that somebody has hijacked one of his ships, and apparently that has cost him a lot of money, which honestly doesn't make sense since Krakoa is, unless he's buying it from Krakoa, which doesn't make any sense at all. I'm kind of confused about the economic ramifications here of what the Hellfire Club is fronting in order to get this product from Krakoa. You know what I mean? After Emma is done toying with him and informing him on how things are going to be, she then brings up the fact that they can get onto the more pressing matter, which is his pending insurance claim. Apparently, because the Marauders are the one who are attacking his ship, and you have Balrock actually, who is apparently one of Sebastian Shaw's mercenaries who's defending the ship. And he actually manages to kick Rogue like right in the stomach, which is pretty impressive. Which goes back to X-Men number 1, where she was complaining about being tired. It's like, man, maybe she needs to take some time off if she's getting kicked by Batroc here at this time. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's it for the 3 previews. Of all of them, I think Absolute Carnage number 5 is going to be absolutely amazing. So just looking at the previews, that's going to be my pick for the week. I'm most worried about Excalibur and what's happening there. I still like the fact that it's focused on an apocalypse, is bringing in this magic element to the X-Men, but that dialogue is just really, really bad, and I'm kind of worried about where that's going with the writing. And finally, number 3, Marauders. I'm just interested to see where this book is going, and to see if Kitty Pryde is written the same way in this as she is over in Excalibur, because she's in both books this week. So we'll have to wait and check it out, guys. I appreciate you stopping by. I already shielded up front, so subscribe, like, leave a comment. Love to hear from you. That's all I got. Real Comic Stacks out.